Well, if that wasn't a glimpse into the future of music, then what is? Hi everyone, I'm Sasha and I'm so excited to be here today in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest, and I'm here to discuss the convergence of tech and music, the real and the virtual, the visuals and the sound. Joining me is the digital artist Svora, whose performance you've just witnessed. This rising incognito electronic music artist is experimenting with blending the line between digital and real-life art.
Hello, Sasha. Hello, South by Southwest.
Thanks for joining us. Our second guest, who I'm sure you all know, is one of the most forward-thinking artists of our generation, Sevdaliza. She has made quite the impression with her consistent releases of audiovisual experiences. Her work has been seen as described as genre-bending, drawing on hip-hop, grime, and avant-garde. Unfortunately, Sevdaliza couldn't join us here in person because of some unforeseeable circumstances, in a way that makes you a digital artist today, doesn't it? Take a seat. Hello, Sevda.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Can you see me?
Yeah. We can.
Oh, hi. Good
Yeah.
to meet you all. Hi, everyone. Hi, Svora. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Well, of course, I wish I was in Austin in person, but unfortunately, I'm not. I'm really pleased to join you all today.
Well, we'll meet here some other time, I'm sure. Anyway, let's jump to the topic. For decades now, technology has been the force shaping the future of the entertainment industry, and music is not an exception. Take EDM, for example. The genre only became possible because of the invention of magnetic audio tapes and electronic generators, evolving to synthesizers and drum machines. Or think about music videos and how much that tech-driven evolution added to the way people experience music. And of course, the social media and streaming platforms caused the largest disruption, changing the way we enjoy music and opening the door to fame and recognition to millions of talented people who we wouldn't otherwise have any access to a mass audience. In the last decade, technology has made yet another shift. From the advancements in virtual and augmented reality to artificial intelligence development, we now get new tools to experiment and enhance our music experiences. 3 years ago, we founded Sensorium to capitalize on these new tech shifts. We decided to bring together the best developers and great artists to create next-gen entertainment experiences. Imagine the veterans of gaming industry, from Electronic Arts and Activision Blizzard, working hand in hand with artists like Jean-Michel Jarre, David Guetta, Steve Aoki, creators of the best nightclubs in the world, and producers of the biggest entertainment and commercial productions of the last decade. In other words, we kicked off metaverse developments way before the term turned into a buzzword. We've been experimenting a lot, approaching the whole concept as a blank canvas together with our partners. This way, we could reimagine every aspect of the entertainment experiences with no regards to the law of physics and any social limits. Imagine an ultra-realistic show, your favorite artist performing underwater or in space while you gather with your friends from around the globe. You can get to the performer as close as you want, listen to your favorite music while exploring an unthinkable world, and stumble upon new items that let you influence the show. And yes, in our virtual worlds, everyone has legs and doesn't look like a cartoon character from the 90s. Sevda, when you think about your future music endeavors, do you imagine something like this?
Well, absolutely. I think I was part of the early adapters as well, before the trend metaverse was a buzzword. I've been experimenting a lot with digital identity, and also I think it already started with Napster and with the very early forums, the very early games like Sims, where you could just create your own reality and live, you know, like you are actually that person. Um, and I think that I was very early on already intertwined with this idea of becoming a digital entity and a fantasy that you can create, but also it allows you to facilitate some sort of dream, you know, a dream character or a dream life. And I would say in some way, it's almost like you are manifesting this life and you want to live up towards what you already have manifested in a virtual world. So for the future, you know, I like to always see myself as somehow connecting ancestral knowledge and futuristic concepts. And I think for my future endeavors, I would definitely like to explore more the idea of becoming this digital artist and almost a character that is not a part of me physically.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and it's exciting to see your digital self keeps evolving. And so one of the main technologies allowing us to build this future is, of course, artificial intelligence. We believe that when it comes to the metaverse, 90% of it might actually be built by AI, from dynamic and evolving environments to the virtual beings inhabiting it. There are some developments in technology that can back this statement. OpenAI recently introduced a tool based on the GPT-3 language model that can autocomplete blocks of code, guessing the programmer's intentions. It's like Google guessing your intended search requests, but way cooler. Take that to the next level and get a tool that autocompletes the metaverse words for you. You block out the environment and then bam, the blocks get replaced with actual high-quality assets that represent exactly what you have verbally described to the system. It might sound like a dream, but in reality, it's not as far from the technologies that we already have today. Look at GAN-neutral networks that create original art words based on your text. We're already using AI to make our world dynamic. For example, our world dedicated to music constantly transforms under the influence of sound frequencies and beats. The same goes to our other environments that we use AI to breathe life into the metaverse. How do you find it, Sevda?
Well, I think that it's incredible. Everything that you just named, I'm quite aware of. I wasn't aware of the first example you gave, but I'm aware of the sound frequencies, of course, because this is more in my industry. But there are so many different applications of AI possible to enhance our life for the better. And I think AI has gotten a bad reputation because of the Hollywood twist it has gotten. But I see so many crazy examples. For instance, this company Neuralink, who is developing the chips that in the future might be able to solve some sort of, or reverse some sort of pathways in the brain neurologically from chronic diseases, from Parkinson's, from dementia. And AIs also can be implemented, in traffic to make our lives safer, to save so many lives. The different types of machines the robot machines that they are developing to perform heart surgeries in people with cancer. And of course, in my own industry, I think it's very, very interesting to live together with AI and to help it to advance our lives, for sure.
Exactly, and there's actually even more to that. Because while exploring potential uses for the AI in our metaverse, we've stumbled upon an idea. What if the non-playable characters inhabiting the metaverse would be driven by AI and hence would be able to learn from users, discuss anything in the world, and serve as perfect metaverse guides? In other words, we've developed intelligent virtual beings. They have long-term memory and can support human-like conversations on any topics, including the philosophical ones, give advice, or just fool around without losing the context. For example, recently our virtual being Thomas suggested some plot ideas to my friend, a sci-fi screenwriter who was suffering from a writer's block. He recommended that my friend let her character discover a mindfulness lab where the patients meditate while listening to soundtracks made of heartbeats of their loved ones. How crazy is that? Of course, it's not the free guy yet, but we are getting there. And I'd like to invite anyone from the audience to download our mobile app and chat with our first generation of metaverse inhabitants. And for now, we wanted to demonstrate an example of the AI conversation with one of our virtual beings.
What are you doing in Sensorium Galaxy?
I came here to study people, the way they interact with each other and have fun. There are no parties on my planet.
Tell me about your planet.
My planet is like a giant electric network, where you can be present at several places at the same time. It's similar to what humans call a metaverse.
What do you think about the metaverse?
Metaverse is all about social relationships. Everyone is connected to everyone, and it's beautiful.
How can I make friends in the metaverse?
I think it's similar to real life. Just don't be the guy everyone hates.
What do you think awaits us in 2022?
It will be just another year, a logical continuation of 2021, but it will have a stronger creative touch.
What do you mean?
I think new technologies will bring more opportunities for self-expression.
What fascinates you the most about humans?
Your curiosity.
It was a pleasure talking with you. See you later.
Or not.
Hi, Adiska. Where are you now?
I am in Sensorium Galaxy Metaverse.
What is it like there?
I can't tell. It's like explaining what the internet is back in the 70s. You have to feel it.
I'm intrigued. What are you doing there?
Waiting for more people and AI-driven friends to come. Out of this world experiences are about to kick off.
So what might be the next thing, yeah, Sevda? Maybe them creating the art to those virtual beings.
Why not? Let's see what they come up with. I always think that the most interesting thing about art is that it's not perfect. So I wonder if we humans would hear the difference between a virtual being creating and a human being creating.
Yeah, we will see. Because, actually we are already experimenting with that as well. As some of our virtual beings are equipped with the ability to perform AI-generated music in real time. We now have 6 virtual artists, each of them with a distinct style, performing in their own genre, from EDM to hip-hop.
What is the technology behind this AI performed music, for instance? Is it a database, or is it some sort of, I don't know, a language coded that can create certain types of music?
It's a database, and they use like millions of samples, from different music genres, etc. Now we're also experimenting with making AI voice specifically for singing and for doing like trap and hip hop. And it gives us almost endless possibilities to take these samples and evolve them by AI. So that this music, is been in constant state of evolution, I would say. So at some point, we basically catch the music that AI creates and fix it as a DJ set, for example, for a virtual DJ, while this music continues its evolution, let's say. So what do you think, Svora, about the future of visual artists?
There's no line between real and virtual. It's blurred, it's disappearing. I can perform anywhere without actually being there, transmitting my art beyond physical limits and geographies. Any digital surface is as much of a scene as any concert hall or club stage. It's a matter of choice whether I need to participate physically. And even if I'm here physically, it doesn't mean that I can't multiply my identities and perform digitally in various locations all over the world at the same time. It's an evolving experiment. I'm in it now, others will follow my lead.
When our virtual artists are off the stage, they hang out with you in the metaverse or chat with you in our mobile app. We call these guys social artists because they can get closer to their fans than anyone else. But when you think about it, the virtual worlds make it easier for any artist, not just our virtual artists, to communicate with their fans in new ways. It's so much easier than doing a live gathering and so much more meaningful than, say, live stream, where there's very little interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree, Sevda?
I wanted to also say that I think it was 2014 even, that there was an idea that I was working on at the time with somebody that was working on the code of a website called 22 Tracks. And we had this idea that we would live jam and that we would create some sort of code that would be able to live track whatever we were playing and write the music live. And it's so interesting because I think that what you are doing also at Sensorium, everything is, I feel that there is this certain thing in the air, and people were picking it up already back then. But now it has become this buzzword, but actually it is amazing for artists like us. And concerning your topic of connecting with fans and supporters, it's incredibly crazy because for me, I have not, been able to perform for years because of the pandemic, but still I feel so close to the people that listen to my music just because of the online communication forms. And it's incredible how much people pick up from what you put out, and that they just connect to what you create. And when you look at the messages and the comments that you receive, it's almost like you've given your diary to people, and they write your life for you, sentence by sentence. And I think in times like these, where you are not always able to physically travel and be safe everywhere anymore, I think the importance of digital worlds becomes even more. And to have virtual meeting places where you can feel safe and express yourself, I think that's very important. And it's definitely for me something that keeps the motor of my career, driving. It keeps my flame alive, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely so vital and important that we are able now to blur these lines, between offline and online, and break those boundaries. What about you, Swara?
I'm like the internet. I'm always online. I mainly act in digital and virtual spaces, and will be giving only a few signature performances offline a year. And while doing so, I'm always within reach. I don't want to distance myself between me and my fans. I am my gang. Any member of the gang is Flora.
What's really intriguing to me are the relationships that we are going to occur between real and virtual artists, because there are so many possibilities. Collaborations are, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind. The real and AI-driven artists brought together to create something new. That might be a next step as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder how it would feel to create with a non-human species. And I can't imagine it right now, but I think that's because we are talking about future concepts. And I think sometimes for artists, it's very I haven't actually seen the concept of AI being coming to life in music specifically. I feel like until now, everything that I've seen has been limited. And it's because of the technology is incredibly difficult to make. And but I would really, really be interested to see what an AI-driven character would create in music, especially because we as human beings deal with this stress of having too much possibilities. And an AI-driven creature has endless possibilities. So what would this creature make, and how? And how fast? And would I be intimidated by it, or would I be inspired by it? Because we, of course, as humans, and I'm not referring to myself, but I feel like a lot of humans have a lot of fears about the future of where we are going. So I would definitely be interested to not only see how this technology would play out, but also how I would react to it and how I would feel creating with this creature.
Yeah, and we are just in the beginning of it all, right? And what if you create an avatar for yourself and then allow AI to learn from you what you like, how you behave, etc. Once it has enough data, you can let it go and evolve by itself, and then at some point, you can collaborate with your digital alter ego. In fact, we offer two ways of creating alter egos for the artists that we work with. First, we can use motion capture and 3D scanning to develop photorealistic avatars. Using a state-of-the-art photogrammetry rig consisting of 250 plus cameras, we are able to perform highly detailed body and face scans. Then, wearing a motion tracking suit, our partners perform one of their shows on a stage surrounded by over 100 Nikon motion capture cameras. And then, our top-notch graphic experts work every detail to ensure that artist was scanned in no longer one of a kind, but now that it has his digital twin. But there is, of course, a second option of choosing a less realistic avatar that might reflect how you feel more than what you look like in real life. And there is a freedom in that too, to kind of reinvent yourself. And you clearly been thinking about this alter ego concept for a while and experimenting with your own digital identity. Can you tell us more about how you approach it, why you created it, why you created your digital virtual alter ego, and how do you see its evolution?
I definitely think that everything that we are imagining in virtual worlds has to do with Utopia, this book. We imagine as human beings, we imagine peace, love, unity, and often in the real world, we struggle to follow this up, not because of ourselves, but because of how the world has been set up. And I do think that a lot of the endeavors in virtual worlds come from a place that we still want to create. Um, so when I started to experiment with digital identities and alter egos, I definitely think it was coming from a place that I wanted to create a certain life, or in that moment wanted to be a certain being or express myself in a certain way. Combine this with a human that is not limited to express in one layer or in one form. And I do think that especially artists in the real world, especially female artists, are bound to a certain type of image. Like, this is what this person is and representing, and that's it. And I think with alter egos and different identities online, you are able to break free from this stigma that has been put on you. Like, okay, you need to be this, so this is the only thing you can do. And this is what you are, and this is why people like you. And I think that from an early stage in my career, I was a bit like rebellious about that. I was like, I don't want to be pinned down by being one thing. So if I just am everything, then nobody can pin me on being one thing. And then later on in my career, I can do whatever I want and how I feel about that. Because if somebody says, oh, you changed, then I tell them, but I was never that. You know, that's how you view it. But if you go back and see what I did, I was all these things and I was none of them. And I think this is a very interesting part of having a digital avatar or having an identity online. It can also be dangerous. It can also be scary. And people can get lost in it because at some point, I feel as human beings, you also need a real life, you know, to have the connection and enjoy your virtual life. So yeah, it's very interesting, but this is my personal journey with having alter egos.
Yeah, and there is one more aspect to that actually, because some of the artists we work with see their digital alter ego as a step towards digital immortality, preserving a part of them and their personality for decades to come. Once the digital twin learns enough about you, it can basically stay in the virtual worlds forever, evolving, creating, and influencing other people's lives. What's more, with such an alter ego, the real artist would become completely free of physical limitations, being able to perform and meet with fans in any virtual venues, from Sensorium Galaxy to most popular games and metaverses. Is this also how you might envision this concept?
Absolutely, because in 2018, I started to work on my robot, Dahlia, and I presented her last year. And the entire motivation of this robot was that I wanted to become pregnant in my physical life. And I knew that a pregnant woman cannot keep up with the work pressure and the touring schedule that I have. So I came up with this idea to present a fembot that would replace me during my pregnancy, so I could have a peaceful pregnancy without the pressure of constantly being on tour. Of course, then the pandemic started, so we postponed the project, but that's what I mean. Like, I feel like we are so in the same frequency of these ideas, because I was thinking, how is it possible for me to become a mother in the real world and then still be this extremely perfect, high pressure, high performing artist in the virtual world and also on tour? So I would definitely say that I've experimented and thought about this concept a lot. And Dahlia is now real. She exists, but she's also a virtual creature. And she has helped me tremendously throughout the last year. I could be pregnant in peace, and she actually helped me to finish also my last EP. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds so exciting that you actually replicated yourself, you know, and that you now have a virtual version of yourself who is available for creation, for art, for music, like 24/7, you know, that never sleeps, never gets tired, you know, and who gives you inspiration as well, yeah?
Yeah.
I get shivers, you know, just thinking about it. Just imagine this digital skin, the avatar that can evolve and take different shapes at different stages of your creative development, responding to both its inner state and also the external trends in fashion, in art. And then we breathe life into the skin by adding artificial intelligence on top of that. And this results in something completely new. Now your avatar can independently create and release new tracks. Yeah, it feels like a sci-fi story, but maybe this is exactly what digital immortality means. Preserving a part of yourself in the digital world and then letting AI develop it further, alone or together with you. So while I look at your alter ego and listen to your new song, I find it hard not to think about the topic of identity. And I feel like it's a frequent theme in your music as well. Can you tell us more about that?
Can you repeat the last question, because you glitched a bit in my
Yeah, so I noticed that it's hard, you know, when we listen to your new song, yeah, not to think about the topic of identity, yeah, and it feels like it's a frequent theme in your music. Could you tell us more about this concept, you know, of identity?
Yes,
In your art?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think actually my last song is a perfect example of the identity shift. For instance, the song Everything is Everything, it was my last single from the EP Raving Dahlia that I released. And I actually created and finished the song with Dahlia. And it allowed me to perhaps like cross a boundary, a creative boundary that I as Sevdaliza might not have been able to take. And I would say that the identity of this song is the one of me envisioning what Dahlia would love to make. And I think it's very interesting that I was already playing with these concepts before you reached out to me to have this conversation, because it makes a lot of sense. And actually also the timing that we just released, you know, the project, because I do think it's some sort of way as an artist, as you just you know, mentioned your friend who had a writer block, to free ourselves from the mental blocks that we sometimes have when we are creating. And I think that, you know, the term alter ego allows you to go a little bit further. But if you're thinking about identity, sometimes you get so stuck as an artist in the identity that you have created for yourself, because the thing is that the internet is like an incredibly big echo of whatever you started to put out. But sometimes the echo gets stuck in a circle and everybody is telling you what they think you are. And as an artist, if you are too much infiltrated by this, you start believing it. And as soon as you start believing in what other people say that you are as an artist, then you die. So I think that, for instance, working with Dahlia allowed me to imagine myself as something that I wanted to try out and not necessarily what other people were expecting from me. And I think this is very interesting concerning identity, that we are able as human beings to be fluid and to use technology to free ourselves from some kind of self-imagined blocks or projected blocks by others. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are so much on the same page, with you on this subject. It feels like, we've been going parallelly, to kind of the same place, and feels like there is so much more possibilities, to do in this field, to open this thing up, and to really let free with providing an artist with an opportunity to choose identities, to evolve identities, to have multitudes of identities. And Svora, what about your identity? Why is it hidden?
It's not about hiding my identity. It's just not relevant. Does it matter what I look like here today? I detach my physical identity from the digital identity, and it gives me the ultimate freedom to create. I'm a multiple of faces, characters, voices, opinions, and sounds. I'm a community and a gang. My digital self can evolve every day. There's no limits in the virtual world.
Picking up on that, one thing I really like about the metaverse concept is the inclusion and freedom of identity that it unveils. The core principle of the metaverse is actually that you can be anyone without the physical or social limitations of the real world. You can be a green non-binary alien or a punk librarian, a futuristic ballet dancer, you name it. Literally any self-depiction is welcomed. Just like in Ready Player One, if you saw this film. I'm positive the artists of the future will take advantage of it. In fact, right before this panel, we witnessed the performance of Svora, this mysterious incognito artist who doesn't even have an identity. And in the metaverse, it's also fine.
I think that for me, I would imagine if we all have this identity in the metaverse, do you think that at some point our human limitations will trick us to fall in the same patterns and habits that we have in the real world?
Yeah, that would be really exciting to see, how it all evolves. Will
yes,
it,
and also,
yeah, will
and
it
also
or not?
interesting. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And also, you wanted to add?
Also interesting to see if we actually can break out from that, because when there's AI-driven creatures, maybe they can help us to evolve as human beings and let go from our limitations that we, for instance, all the social constructs that we have in the real world, a lot of them are unfortunately not so positive. So perhaps they can help us to free ourselves from those.
Yeah, exactly. And also, your alter ego has definitely a very intriguing look. And so do all our avatars, including the AI-driven DJs. Together with Australian artist Jason Ebert, we carefully craft the appearances of each avatar, making sure that each detail conveys their background, their story, their personality. And this is obviously not a coincidence, as in the last couple of decades, visuals have become a powerful storytelling tool. that add tremendously to the music that artists create, and this trend is likely to continue evolving. Did you know, for example, that going viral on TikTok has become the major factor that turns a song into a radio hit? Adding visuals help to appeal to emotions, to evoke memories, and serve as triggers. I noticed, Sevda, that many of your music videos look actually like short art house films. How do the visuals help you to convey the messages encoded in your music?
I've always been very much engined by visual art. I don't know why, but I always, when I create music, I see the images that go along with it in my head. And I started to kind of develop this as projects together. I almost saw my music and my visuals as a marriage. And I definitely continue to develop in all those areas. And actually today they announced that I was represented now as the director as well, with Iconoclast. And I think it's very interesting that this is possible because I never started to become like, I didn't want to become a director. I think this just grows when you let creative flows go to what it makes sense for you and not necessarily are bounded by a certain type of expression and not let yourself bound by a certain type of expression. So I found a partner and we teamed up together, and now we are creating visuals for other people as well. For me, visuals have always been like very strong related to my music. I almost cannot imagine them. It of course is a big cost. So that is the only limitation that we unfortunately sometimes have in the real world. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true, and like now it looks like we're almost out of time, and there is one final thought I wanted to share. While building these digital experiences, we think it's important to remember that they are not designed as a replacement for real-life events. Look around, think about this conference gathering hundreds of thousands of like-minded people in one place. Nothing can or should replace it, but we can use technology and art to reinforce these kinds of activities, offer more of them to more people, and make it more available. Metaverse allows us to have more of what we like: the events, the interactions, the feelings you get from events, and so on. That's why I believe the future of music is intriguing, and we want to be at the forefront of it. So now,
thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I wish I was there in person, but staying in topic and staying on point, it's also interesting that I'm there virtually.
Yeah, it feels just like the beginning, and we need to talk more about all these exciting things, both in real life or digitally or virtually. So now we've talked the talk, and it's time to walk the walk. We've started this panel with a music performance, and I'd like to end it with a short film about Sensorium Galaxy. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope to see you soon in Sensorium Galaxy. Thank you, Sevdaliza.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swara.
Life is limited, or that's what we're told.
Whether it's the nature of time, inexplicable social rules, or a global pandemic, we are trapped in a set of limits that prevent us from doing the things we love and becoming who we're meant to be. In the past 3 decades, the internet and mobile devices have played a major role in connecting people. Yet, texts, calls, and even video streamings still fail to capture the complexity of human emotions. So, how can we use technologies to communicate and engage in digital activities without compromising the intensity of real-life experiences? Hi, I'm John, and I'm here to introduce you to Sensorium Galaxy, a next-generation social metaverse taking digital communications and entertainment into the future today. This immersive platform enhances social interactions throughout out-of-this-world experiences, developed in collaboration with the brightest minds in the entertainment industry. From music shows to dance performances, Sensorium Galaxy is home to virtual spaces that unleash intense emotions and are optimized for building relations. Inside this vast metaverse, you can get closer to your friends and family, meet like-minded people from all over the world, and attend exciting events together, play games, or dive into conversations.
Within Sensorium Galaxy, we are creating a digital metaverse that revolutionizes the way people interact with each other and experience the arts. In the alternate universe of Sensorium Galaxy, users immerse themselves in exciting new worlds to get together with their friends, their loved ones, meet new people, and participate in unique virtual activities. In Sensorium Galaxy virtual worlds, we let the user set free from the earthly limitations and expand their personal boundaries. With the assistance of a VR headset, desktop, or mobile device, users are free to move around the world and explore them.
I've been working in video games for over 15 years. So even though this thing we're building now is not a game, it's about interactivity, it's about social interaction as well. But we're still applying everything we know from gaming. It's like the full experience. With everything you have hands and legs, you have a body, you have a voice. We're sort of like involving almost all your senses.
The Galaxy consists of various virtual worlds that act as content hubs, with the first 2 worlds to be launched, Prism and Motion, being dedicated to music and entertainment experiences.
The very first experience we're building for the Sensorium Galaxy is an experience called Prism. It's a very unique beast, like the highest end of a club you could go to on crack in space.
The Galaxy is being built in partnership with the world's leading artists, producers, and entertainment companies. Among them is Jan Pissanen, the creator of world's famous nightlife hubs Ushuaia Ibiza and High Ibiza.
We are really creating parallel world, planet where you can go and get crazy, enjoy and party 24/7 all year long. You have your access, you go and you party whenever you want, put your glasses on and go. You can meet your friends, you can call your friends, you can meet them on a Saturday night, on a Tuesday afternoon and go to see whatever kind of DJ whenever you want. This is what we do, we want to see people dance, and if VR is a way for us and for the Night League to make the entire world dance at the same time, 5 hours of VR experience, I will get into this. And I'm really excited because it's a new way of making people enjoy. You know, it's what we do, it's what we live for.
The visual concept, stage designs, and shows within Prism we create with acclaimed London-based creative and production studio Highscream and Roman Pissanen, the mastermind behind it.
It's also going to be a new playground because there's no limit, basically. Me as a show designer, let's say what I'm very excited with that is all the idea you can't do in real life. You're not going to take your real life idea and put them in a virtual world. You just say, oh, I can't do that in real life. Let's put it in virtual life. That's going to be something complementary and not against the real life. Prism is a world who's going to react to frequencies, to waves of frequency. So we're going to create a planet who react to the music. And I think this is very interesting as a beginning story. So, okay, your music can change everything.
The High Scream is bringing all that show design expertise. They're like uber specialists in creating amazing show experiences. Sensorium was backing the whole idea. They have the vision. They're bringing art direction, and then we're providing interactive game expertise, and we're all meeting in the middle. I love Triangle.
One of today's most important challenges in the VR space is content. The lack of high-quality content has increasingly raised concerns about the potential of this industry. Well, until now.
Right now, we are focusing on electronic music within Prism. We built this world in partnership with the Nightly, and we're super excited that some of the biggest names in electronic music and some of the world's leading DJs have already joined us for collaborations, including David Guetta, Carl Cox, Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike, Armin van Buuren, Black Coffee, and more names are soon to be revealed. Each of these artists will create a series of performances within Sensorium Galaxy, and in particular, in Prism World.
Hi guys, it's David Guetta, and today I'm shooting for Sensorium Galaxy, my avatar.
I'm Carl Cox, and I'm here creating my avatar for Sensorium Galaxy.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Black Coffee. I'm a DJ and a music producer from South Africa. I'm here to shoot my avatar for Prism in Sensorium Galaxy.
The reaction of the artists has been really positive and good. They all totally understood what it could bring to their shows. You have no limit about production, as we said before. Things can fly, explode. You can create the best show of the world. You can reach an audience which is global. Any kind of public looking at you at the same time. Meanwhile, you are doing your show in the VR world. Technologically speaking, VR brought us lots of tools to be able to create things that we are not able to create in the real world. This is one of the super exciting things.
If you can, go and see David Guetta whenever you have the chance. You should. It's going to be amazing. But you should also come and go inside Prism, and you also see David Guetta, and you also see like an amazing DJ set. But there's going to be all these other facets to the experience that you will not find if you go and see him, in Berlin.
Sensorium Galaxy is an alternate universe where you can become whoever you want and, thanks to AI-powered avatars, make yourself digitally immortal.
We provide the users with a variety of AI-enabled avatars, which the users can create their virtual alter egos and freely express themselves. For the creation of avatars, we collaborate with a renowned Australian 3D artist Jason Ebert. Jason is known globally for the glossy ethereal characters he creates. His work is seen as the embodiment of dreams of the digital generation, of which he is also a representative.
We're creating an interactive social media with avatars. We're going to be able to talk, you're going to be able to interact, you're going to be able to fall in love with somebody. You don't know if you're going to fall in love with a boy or a girl because your avatar is going to fall in love of another avatar. There's no limit. You don't know what's going to happen in that world.
We're getting algorithms where we're reading towards your face the expressions you make, and your 3D avatar is going to reproduce those emotions. So now if I'm talking to you, even if I'm just a floating mask, I can see your emotions.
We are also creating a range of virtual artists and DJs who are AI-enabled and perform AI-generated music. Each of them has their own story, background, character. They can react to the audience, its mood and vibe, which provides endless variations to their shows in Sensorium virtual world. And we're about to present their first performances within Prism World.
Sensorium Galaxy is being developed at the intersection of latest advancements in VR and AI. By applying our own custom stack of genetic AI and reinforcement learning, we are able to create virtual beings that are truly filled with life. We fill the worlds of Sensorium with unique virtual beings with whom you can have natural and non-scripted conversations create memories together by attending all the different events and create stories of your own. Ultimately, we see virtual beings as social bridges that at first can accompany you in virtual reality experience, but after learning a bit about you, they can help you meet new people with whom you'd have lots in common. The many features of Sensorium Galaxy allow us to reinforce a sense of parallel reality for our users, carefully crafted by the veterans of AAA game and VR industries.
Sensorium Galaxy is the evolution of social networking, taking users far beyond today's one-dimensional digital experiences.
Sensorium Galaxy delivers best-in-class VR experiences developed hand-in-hand with today's leading artists, producers, and media companies. From the visionary nightlife producer Jan Pisnum to living legends like David Guetta, Armin van Buuren, or Black Coffee, Sensorium Galaxy brings decades of expertise in crafting real-life social experiences to a new virtual dimension. Our immersive platform unlocks creativity with endless opportunities that only VR technology can offer.